We have over 1,500 ministers from across the Trans-European Division that have assembled here in Belgrade in Serbia for the European Pastors' Council, and it's a time for ministers to be inspired and to connect with one another. Well, Pastor Ted Wilson, it's really good to have you part of these meetings. How important do you think it is for ministers and their spouses to be part of a convocation like this?
Well, you know, the Lord has indicated that we need to come apart and rest a while and then regain the enthusiasm and zeal through the power of the Holy Spirit to go out. So it is important to kind of regroup, to re-energize your own capacity spiritually and physically, and then be able to be sent by the Lord to go back out into that wonderful opportunity of sharing Christ and His soon coming.
Pastor Kamal, it's been a wonderful atmosphere here so far. As a TD president, what was your vision and hope for these meetings?
We have here among us more than 1,300 workers and spouses, and we really emphasize to bring the spouses because they're part of the team. They work in their stations, many of them work in small congregations of 30, 40 members. So to take them out of these contexts and bring them here to network, to share, to grow, to share their burdens, to pray together, to worship. For us, the highest purpose is to worship God and bring glory to Him. And then there's networking, there's growing, there's connecting with each other. I think that's a great opportunity. There are 100 volunteers and workers who are working tirelessly around the clock to prepare for this event, and God just brought it all together.
What inspired you this week?
I think the thought that we need to reach out, really reach out into the community, that has inspired me. And I think this morning's message totally was an amazing message, which said you can't feed others unless you are connected to the vine, and that was a beautiful message.
It's the people who inspire you, people who do this hard work of a pastor week after week, month and year, in and out. And just to see people come together and be happy together and strengthen each other in the faith. But also the preaching, oh my days, the preaching most definitely inspired me.
I was particularly inspired by Dr. Jeff Brown's sermon, Turn the Page, where he inspired us to look beyond the first interpretation or the standard answers that we accept, but seek for God's heart and what is He trying to tell us beyond what we have already accepted.
And this week has been special for you. Can you tell us why?
Well, we've been married for 30 years and this is our wedding anniversary weekend. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you're still smiling.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pastor Johnson, as ministers, it's a joy to be part of this experience all over Europe. As the ministerial director, what was your objective for these meetings?
I think there's a couple of them. We were looking at, first of all, giving pastors a chance to relax and in a nice environment. So I think we've provided a good environment for people to be. Secondly, for people to be able to just connect again, especially with one another. Many of us would have been at similar colleges, known one another, but then you get a chance to meet again, and it's always great to just socialize. And thirdly, it's a continuing education opportunity for our pastors. So we want to provide good teaching, good new ideas, good impulses, so that our pastors can go back a little bit more inspired with some new thoughts that they can use in their local context.
Well, the thing that really inspired me was the section on theology and science, that the evidence out there is much more than what atheists want us to believe. That was inspiring.
This week inspired me how all speakers were honest and they spoke about reality and about real problems and about real needs.
The seminars have been fantastic, and also the opportunity of meeting old college mates from Newbold since '91 spread over Europe.
It's always inspiring being with so many of our pastors all together. it's a wonderful feeling.
When I attended the women's ministry meeting regarding the praying through using the scriptures, that is so inspiring.
What inspired me this week, Pastor, is the fact that we should really be united and just to spread the word as one.
The challenges issued by every single person who's spoken in any event.
The diversity and worshipping with God's people from different nations and nationalities.
It was the feeling of friendship and brotherhood.
Workshops, sermon, the fellowship of the people. Absolutely brilliant.
I've actually been inspired by the seminars.
It was the messages that were preached. The seminars as well were really challenging.
It was today's sermon. You don't go out there with empty baskets. Make sure that there is bread in the basket, and the bread being the life of Christ.
Pastor David Neal, it's been a well-organized event so far, and I know that you've been integral in the planning of this. What has been your mission or desire for the ministers to take away from these meetings?
First of all, in the design of the program, it was worship with excellence, preaching with excellence, and just having an atmosphere where the pastor can be fed. The pastor needs to worship, particularly the pastor who lives in a local small town church. Sometimes you just need to be together with friends and worship a God who might just feel a little bigger than on your normal Sabbath morning. Good music, good preaching, good fellowship. That's what this is all about.